I just got my license. Not like right now, but I got it a few weeks ago. And I was just thinking about, the whole process and all I did to achieve it. And low key, a lot of that shit was a waste of time. Before I turned 18 and grew some hair on my sack, I had to take a teenager's driving course. And that was very long and it was like 80 bucks and that gave me my permit. And the thing with your permit is you get to drive um with some restrictions as long as there's a licensed driver who's over 21 with you. So the idea is that you practice and then you can go and get your actual license after holding it for 6 months. The thing about that is that I'm lazy and so is my family. So I probably practiced about like 0 times. Yeah, to be completely honest, I didn't practice at all. So I had a learner's permit that I was basically just a glorified ID. And then I turned 18. So I had this learner's permit for probably like a year and a half and I didn't use it ever. So I turned 18 and now that I'm an adult, my learner's permit has expired, so I can't use that shit anymore. And I'm without ID, so I can't fucking play Roblox because Roblox thinks I'm 13. Side tangent here. I wanted to play Roblox one time with my buddies, and I had to verify my age. Isn't this game for fucking kids? I don't say that lightly either. This game is low key. At this point, it's for fucking kids, and what happened to Roblox? Roblox used to be a game I would play religiously when I was like 9 or 10, bro. I'll be playing like Dragon Ball games, bro, like Speed Legends, like work at a pizza. Bro, I had like my first like girlfriend. I had an online girlfriend on work at a pizza place. I think I played with her twice and then she ghosted me. Yeah, I was really distraught about that, especially since I was living like between my parents' house and my mom would low key neglect me. So my only source of comfort was my Roblox work at a pizza place girlfriend that I knew for maybe 3 minutes before I confessed my love to her. I actually don't really remember how it happened. I just remember she had like the default like blonde hair with the green shirt avatar. And let's be honest, she probably didn't love me the way I loved her. She was probably using me for my in-game currency. Um, but it sucks because, she was my world. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. I wanted to play Roblox. I wanted to play a game I used to always play called Phantom Forces. Shout out Phantom Forces. Before I had money to buy Call of Duty, and I was broke and I just got my first PC, I would play Phantom Forces all the time. So I wanted to replay it and see if it was any good. And Roblox prompted me to verify my age. So I was like, um, okay, I don't really like the idea of y'all having my ID, but I mean, you already have all this shit about me anyway, so whatever. So I then take out my wallet that I bought at a Marshall's for $12 and I take a picture of my expired learner's permit and it didn't go through. It didn't fucking work. So naturally, I take the next step and I take a picture of myself because if I didn't want them having my photo ID, I want them to have pictures of my face at multiple angles. So I take the pictures. I look like a bad Playboy actor, and it says that I look to be in the range of 13 and 15. And honestly, I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or not. Because on one hand, if I'm going to college where there are people who are adults, I'm an adult now, apparently. If there are people who are adults, they're not going to want anything to do with me. Because if Mr. Roblox is right and I do look 13, I'm probably at risk. There are a lot of people out there that would probably pay good money to have me locked up because of how I look, and it would be legal barring the consent. Anyways, we got completely off track. Yeah, in that moment, I knew I needed a real identification card, so that's why I went to go pick up my driver's license. That's not the actual reason, of course. But yeah, then after I turned 18, I needed to take a different driving course, which was another like 40 bucks. And this one was a 6 hour online course. Fuck me. After I completed that, there was a video I had to watch. It was three videos separated into 30-minute chunks. And it was basically just this. There'd be a dude walking in, um, and he just has like no legs. Okay. This dude has no legs and his arms are all fucked up. And he's like, "This is my story. I was in a drunk driving accident and it left me paralyzed." And it's like, bro, I understand that you're trying to scare me into like obeying the rules of the road and whatever, but I don't want to see this shit. This is sad as fuck, and I don't really want to see this. You can, I mean, I feel really, really bad. This is horrible. But like, do I really need to be force fed all these sob stories? There was one I saw that I have a big issue with, and it's not even just the fact that I'm seeing something sad, it's just the content of the video. There's a girl who's halfway paralyzed and she comes into a well, hold on, let me restart. There's a room where they have teenagers sitting in one chair, there's two chairs, and the teenagers all like confess they're like yeah, sometimes I text and drive. They're like, yeah, I look at my phone and I text and drive and shit sometimes, but like, it's rarely. And then so they bring in this young lady who's paralyzed halfway, and she's talking to them and she's like, yeah, I was in a drunk dri no, not drunk driving, it was a distracted driving. She was in the passenger seat and she got struck, and it cuts to the faces of the teenagers and they're like crying, or like some of them are crying and some of them are just like, and it's like, what do you even expect them to say? Like, I understand what you're trying to do here. You're trying to like scare them straight, but it's like this is like the most uncomfortable situation probably ever. You're just forcing them to sit and listen to this girl talk about what happened to her. And they're like, dude, this is like the funniest part. They're like, I'm never gonna text and drive again, like to her face. And it's like, you lying piece of shit. You know you're gonna text and drive. And of course, this is a sad situation. And it's important to show that this happens to people. But do you really have to do it to their face? Anyway, I took that course, whatever, and I was all ready to go to the DPS and take my driving test. Now, a little background on my actual driving. I scheduled a test date and I didn't know how to drive. I really needed my license because school was starting. Um, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna reserve a spot, and if I don't know how to drive, fuck it, we're going guns blazing. So I had probably about a month and a half to learn how to drive, and your boy locked in. I wouldn't say I'm a great driver, but I also wouldn't say I'm a terrible driver. Um, I mean, yeah, I did it, so that's cool. Anyway, fast forward to my driving date. It was August 13th, so that's how you know it was very, very recent. We get to the DPS and I made sure I had everything, okay? I was like Santa Claus, bro. I made a list, I was checking it twice. I was making sure that I had everything I needed. So we get there and everything's fine. They take my picture. I kind of look like a dirty slumlord, but they take my picture and I'm waiting in the little room, and then there's a nice lady who comes out and she's like, "Nicholas, are you ready?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm ready." So we started driving out to my car. And a little side tangent, yeah, I bought a car too before I knew how to drive. Um, I was making sure I had everything. I literally bought a car for this. But yeah, we walk out to my shitty Volkswagen Jetta, and she's like, "Do you have your buyer's copy?" And I look at her and I go, "Buyer's copy?" And she's like, "Buyer's copy." So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh shit, that wasn't on any of the lists that I needed. It certainly wasn't on my list. So I'm kind of freaking out for a little bit, and like maybe the 3 or 4 seconds that I'm walking to my car, and she says, "Let me go ask dad." Okay, so she's gonna go inside and ask my dad about this, and he's gonna freak the fuck out because I don't have this thing. So I waltz my happy ass into my car and I sit in the driver's seat and I turn on the AC. And I sit there for probably 10 minutes, feels like hours, and I see my dad walk out and he's just pissed off. Because, mind you, this DPS wasn't exactly a block away from my home, it was probably a good 45 minutes away from my house. So my dad walks out and I roll the window down and I say, "What's up?" And he tells me, "You can't drive." And I go, "You can't drive? What do you mean? What's that mean?" And he says, "You didn't bring the fucking buyer's copy." So I'm thinking to myself, you're right, I didn't bring the buyer's copy, but I do have my receipt and everything from when I bought the car. So would that be enough? And he said no. Then the lady was like, "No, you need the buyer's copy because you don't have a registration sticker on your vehicle." Um, so yeah, that was bad on my part. So my dad calls the what are those things called? My dad calls the dealership that we bought the car from, and he's trying to ask this dude to print out a buyer's copy, and the dude's just like, "What?" He's like, "What is that?" My dad's like, "Buyer's copy. We need the buyer's copy. Can you print another one out?" And he's just like, "I don't know what that is." So we eventually cut our losses with this dude. We're not gonna drive today. We understand that now. So we go back inside, and or no, I don't go back inside. I've been sitting in my car this whole time, just fucking shitting my pants. But my dad goes back inside, and I wait another 5, 10 minutes. So I just think, I'm just gonna be chill, and I'm just going to put on some music and I'm just gonna relax because right now there's no use in worrying about it because I'm already fucked. I'm already fucked. So my dad comes out after another amount of time and he says, "I did some talking and we'll be able to come back tomorrow." So, the gods are smiling upon me. I was able to go the next day and I had the buyer's copy with me and I took the test and I passed. Okay, I passed, and that was weird because the test was probably like 5 minutes long. I don't think that was really a good show of my abilities, but yeah, we really just like stopped and then turned, and he was like, "All right, congratulations, you passed." But as he was giving me the rundown of all the things I lost points on, he told me at the very beginning I went out of bounds because there was some construction work and I was trying to get around it. And he said normally that's a disqualification. So even though he had told me I had already passed, I was shitting bricks because he just told me that I would have disqualified under normal circumstances. So I was like, what does that mean? Well, normal circumstances. And he told me that in this case, I had only gone over the marked line. If there had been a curb there and I jumped the curb, I would have been fucked 6 ways to Sunday. But because there was no curb, he spared my life and allowed me to continue the test. So, um, all in all, I just got extremely lucky with being able to go the next day, and then the dude took extreme pity on my soul. But yeah, that was an alright experience. I drove my happy ass all the way back home, and I don't remember what I did for the rest of the day. I think I picked up my brother. Um, that was a lot less scary than I thought it would be, driving by myself. Um, yeah, this whole experience was kind of a waste of time. A big part that was weird to me was the written test because the written test, you go through again, I went through this 6 hour long course where they're drilling all this shit into your head. And the written test is 30 multiple choice questions. So immediately you can tell this shit's not really for the strongest among us. The test has questions like you are at a four-way intersection and there's an old lady with a stroller in front of you. Do you, number one, run her over and fucking kill her? Do you, two, reverse and drive straight into the people behind you so you can go around her? Or three, do you wait for this lady to cross so you can just drive forward with no issue? And all of the questions are like that. You do not need a 6 hour long course and a 1 hour long video of people being sad to tell you that you shouldn't drive into people. It doesn't take a genius to grasp the concept that you don't just fucking kill people because you need to get to Starbucks. But whatever, I got my license and I guess I'm an adult now regardless of what Roblox thinks. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Anyways, for the gimmick, at the end of this video, I'm gonna choose a book out of my list of books here, and I'm just gonna read a full page. We're gonna go with The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. Um, all right, page 152. Um, I'm just gonna read the entire thing. Shade of the Elms. Dr. Gordon doesn't think you've improved at all. He thinks you should have some shock treatments at his private hospital in Walton. I felt a sharp stab of curiosity, as if I had just read a terrible newspaper headline about somebody else. Does he mean live there? No, my mother said, and her chin quivered. I thought she must be lying. You tell me the truth, I said, or I'll never speak to you again. Don't I always tell you the truth, my mother said, and burst into tears. Suicide saved from 7-story ledge. After 2 hours on a narrow ledge, 7 stories above a concrete parking lot and gathered crowds, Mr. George Palucci let himself be helped to safety through a nearby window by Sergeant Will Kilmartin of the Charles Street Police Force. I cracked open a peanut from the 10-cent bag I had bought to feed the pigeons and ate it. It tasted like dead, like a bit of old tree bark. I brought the newspaper close up to my eyes to get a better view of George Palucci's face, spotlighted like a three-quarter moon against a vague background of brick and black sky. I felt he had something important to tell me, and whatever it was might just be written on his face. But the smudgy crags of George Palucci's features. All right, that's concluding page 152 of Sylvia Plath's The Bell Jar. Join me again next week for American Psycho, a full reading.